We start by chanting Om 3 times, followed by the invocation shlokas. Inhale deeply. Om. Om. Om Sahana
सहना भवतु सहनौ
Sahana
भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं कर्वावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति
Om Shanti 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 Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam
करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरु ब्रह्मविद्वरम्
Vidvaram Ram Brahma Vidvaram. Thank you all for joining. We are covering chapter 3 of Bhagavad Gita Karma Yoga. In our last session, we just started. So we saw Arjuna's question to Bhagavan Krishna, asking that, or the shloka says, Jayasi chet karmani te mata buddhir janardhana tat kim karmani ghore mam niyojayasi keshava. See, you are talking about, in your opinion, the Buddhi Yoga or Jnana Yoga is superior to karma. In that case, why are you asking me to perform this karma, which is terrible? So karma is terrible because of two reasons. One is that, I mean, like you can see that karma being terrible from 2 points, two perspectives. One is from an immediate Arjuna's perspective, the killings that he has to do in that war is ghora, is terrible. But also, the other way to look at it is that karma, performing karma is terrible, whether it is for Arjuna or for us, because what happens is that whenever we perform karma, there is a karma phala associated with it, which is result. And that result in turn will cause us to be born again and again. So that is binding in samsara forever. So no matter what karma we do, it is a ghora karma only. That is another way to look at it. Okay. And now, Arjuna also says that Vyamishrena iva. Okay, Mishra means mixture. Vyamishrena means that that mixture has got two prefixes, V and A. So V plus A becomes Vya. Okay. A means asamanta, means complete. Visheshana means specially. Okay, specially as in like, so that means that it is a comprehensive mixture. Okay, that means that what, like I am thoroughly confused, okay, by the mix-up. Vyamishrena iva. Like, they appear to be like that for me. Okay, because it means that whatever Bhagavan you are saying is not mixed up words. It is that like they appear to be mixed up, meaning what? My buddhi is low. Okay, Vyamishrena iva vakyena buddhim mohayasi eva me tadekam vadanischitya yena shreyam apyam. So think about a villager goes to a Mahatma, and that Mahatma with a question, And that Mahatma, let us say, answers with some big Sanskrit quotation. And then the villager says, whatever you said must be the greatest thing in the world, but whatever you said, it didn't get into my head. Explain in a simple way that I can understand, right? This is something that people say, right? So that is what, like, that's the humility of Arjuna, where he's saying that, please help me out. So in here, what happened is that, as we discussed in the last session, the karma yoga and buddhi yoga, you cannot do both at the same time. If you look at in one way, right? It appears to be that we cannot do both at the same time. Why? Because karma yoga means what? You're performing action. If I'm performing action, means there's inbuilt right in there. There is a inbuilt thing. What is the inbuilt assumption is, I am the doer. I am doing something either to gain something or to lose something. So in this, duality is there. But in performance of karma, there's duality is there. Now, Sankhya Yoga is what is saying, you are akarta, meaning you are not the doer. You are abhokta, you are not the enjoyer. In fact, there's nothing to do. There's nowhere to go. Everything is Advaita. So, while being in the Sankhya Yoga, I cannot do Karma Yoga. While being in Karma Yoga, I cannot think about Sankhya Yoga. So, because of this, there's a confusion also. So, so that means what? The two paths cannot be practiced by same person at the same time. Okay, this is another potential pitfall that Arjuna is looking at. Okay, so these are some of the challenges that he's having as a seeker who just heard from Bhagwan. So for that, like, Bhagwan started answering from shloka number 3. Okay, so I'll break down the words, and then one of you can chant, repeat them after me. Shri Bhagavan Vacha Lokesmin. So this word has two words in them. Loke Asmin. Together becomes Lokesmin. Now, if you are seeing Devanagari script, after Loke, there's a S symbol. Do you see S symbol? So what that means is that there used to be A there. Okay, that S symbol indicates that there used to be an A there, but because of Sandhi rule, that A has disappeared. Okay, so then how do we pronounce that? It has to be pronounced as Lokesmin, as if the A is not there.
Yeah. Yeah.
But there's a challenge with that is sometimes if you pronounce Lokesmin without pronouncing this A sound, sometimes, not in this case, but in some cases, it, especially like A, is what happens is that it is a it becomes opposite. It becomes opposite prefix. Yeah. So for example, yogi. Okay, yogi means is someone who is associated with something higher. Okay, ayogi, opposite, right? So then, now, because if there is a ayogi and a disappeared, and we pronounce it as yogi, then we are misunderstanding the word. So to confirm, to let the readers know, don't misunderstand it because A is not there. A has gone because of Sandhi, to say that this S symbol is there. Okay. So now, when we pronounce it, we have to use that A sound very lightly. Loke asmin, loke asmin. Okay. So somewhere like A sound has to come a little bit. Okay. Now, if you are unable to do like half partial A sound, it is okay to say loke asmin also. It is fine. Okay. Even though it is incorrect, at least meaning wise it is correct. Okay. But if you say loke asmin, then meaning can go incorrectly in some context. Okay. So that's just this is a some Sanskrit rule that I'm just sharing with you. Okay, so it has nothing to do, no bearing with our learning process. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Lokesmin dvividha. So there, dvividha, nishtha, one word, pura, one word, prokta, again simple word, one word, maya nagha. So this one has two words, maya and anagha. Okay, maya nagha. Jnana yogena. Okay, jnana and yogena became jnana yogena. Sankhyanam, single word. Karma yogena. Karma yogena. Simple, two simple joining. And yogina. Okay. So, yeah. So, yeah, please repeat after me. Lokesmin dvividha nishtha.
लोकेऽस्मिन् विविधा निष्ठा
Pura prokta maya nagha.
पुरा प्रोक्ता मया नघ
ज्ञानयोगेन साङ्ख्यानाम्
ज्ञानयोगेन साङ्ख्यानाम्
कर्मयोगेन योगिनाम्.
कर्मयोगेन योगिनाम्.
Here, Lord is saying that, whether you should take Karma Yoga or Jnana Yoga, it is all depends upon where you stand and your present status. So that means Adhikaratva, meaning like the qualification. Okay. So the path for Sankhya or the path for Karma Yoga are different. So, for example, think about this way, right? So, someone in there's a school, okay? I mean, especially in India, we used to have schools from kindergarten to 10th grade. There used to be like one school would offer all these classes. Okay, so now someone says, okay, how do I graduate? For you to graduate, you have to pass your 10th grade. Once you pass 10th grade, you graduate. So the child wants to go, the child who is in like 10-year-old, meaning like 4th grade or 5th grade child, he wants to go and sit in 10th grade, so he wants to graduate. Okay, because passing 10th grade is what graduation is. Okay, so I can go sit in 10th grade and I can listen to them and then I can graduate with everybody in the class. That doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way because interestingly, the child who is sitting in 10th grade classes, right, who is in 5th grade, he and the teacher speak the same language, meaning whatever mother tongue they use. So when he sits in 10th grade class, he cannot say like whatever teacher is saying, I don't understand because teacher is speaking the same language as the child. Despite speaking the same language, let us say if both teacher and student are speaking Hindi, okay, or they both are speaking Tamil or English, it doesn't matter whichever language, there is so individual words are understood by the student, but overall content, overall messaging is missing for the student. Okay. For us also, like sometimes what happens is that when we go into some certain classes or certain things that it is kind of like, beyond our capability, we feel lost. Okay. So here again, so that means what? We need to have adhikaratva. Adhikaratva means a qualification for that, right? So what is that qualification is that there are two steps, okay? Sankhya and Karma Yoga. And so asmin loke, okay? Loke asmin, right? So that is asmin. Asmin means in this, okay? In this loke, in this world. Now, Bhagwan, why do you need to say asmin loke? You can simply say there are two paths. In this world, why do you need to put that? Because only in this world, only this realm or like this bhumi, okay, this particular world is considered as karma bhumi. Karma bhumi means where we exhaust our vasanas. Okay, not only we exhaust our vasanas, but we can also, in addition to exhausting our vasanas, we can also do something. So, for example, Swarga or Naraka, okay, they are not called as karma bhumi, they are called as bhoga bhumi. Bhoga bhumi means only vasana exhaustion is done, no more vasanas are created there. Okay, so you go to, when a person goes to Swarga, depending upon the merits they have to enjoy in that Swarga, they live for a particular period, they experience such as Swarga Sukhas, and they are thrown back to earth.
Yes.
Similarly, if a person is a bad person, he goes to Naraka, it's not like neither our Swarga nor our Naraka are forever, right? Nobody is condemned forever in according to Hinduism. Okay, so all our punishments or rewards are based upon our actions. Okay, are they proportional to our actions? And so, even if someone goes to Naraka, they experience some sorrow, some punishments, etc., and they will come back again. Okay, so there they are not creating new vasanas, new these things, or anything like that. So they are called bhoga bhumi. Only in this world, it is karma bhumi. Now, even in this world, for that matter, right? Not everyone is eligible for this karma. Only human beings are allowed for karma. Meaning what? If someone is born as a dog, they're only exhausting vasanas, or meaning whether they could be papa, they could be punya. Probably like if they are born in India, they're exhausting their papas. Okay, if they are born as a dog in, I mean, in the previous sentence when I said if they're born in India as a dog, they're probably exhausting their papas. If they're born as a dog in India, probably they're exhausting their punya, right? Because dogs are taken care of much better than humans here. But now, what happened is that in that, as a dog, no matter where, if they bite someone, do they get papa? No, they don't. Okay, they don't incur sin because they bit someone. Why? Because those jivas are only meant for those embodiments are only meant for exhaustion of vasanas, but not creation of new vasanas or new papa or punya. Okay, so again, that is also bhoga lives. Only when as human, you have the right for creation of new karma phala, meaning as a papa or punya. Why? Because we have that intellect, we have that capacity to discriminate, and we have choice to make at every instance. Okay, whereas a dog or a cat or an elephant, they all run their life with instinct, by instinct. Whereas for us, in addition to instinct, we also have intellect. Okay, because of that, specifically among asmin loke means on this realm for human beings, understand as these two. Okay, dvividha nishtha. Dvividha means two ways, right? Now nishtha means abidance. Now the thing is that so don't translate don't write dvividha equals two ways yet. Okay, dvividha typically means two ways, but in this particular case, nishtha, abidance, is singular and dvividha is plural. So then that means what? Dvividha, you should not take it as plural two ways, rather you should take as twofold. Okay, because nishtha is singular. So that means what? There is twofold abidance. So nishtha is said as stha is the root for the root word there. Okay, nitaram stha meaning firm abidance is called as nishtha. Okay, stha means sthapana. Okay? Sthapana means it is established, right? Nitaram means like firm. Okay, firm abidance. Okay, so then what this is like all the human beings are categorized into two, meaning all not all human beings. Okay, all seekers are being categorized into two. And so which path? Okay. And then it said, Maya Pura Prokta. This is an interesting part. See, Pura Prokta Maya Anagha. Anagha means sinless one. Okay. Agha means sin. Anagha means sinless. So that means what? Bhagavan is lovingly calling Arjuna as a sinless one. Okay. Pura Prokta. Okay. Prokta means said. Maya Prokta means said by me. Pura means earlier. So that means what he's saying is that this is not a new thing. I have told this before in the past, not necessarily to you, but to someone else. How? Which way did you say Bhagavan? Where did you say to who? All Vedas are. I am the source of all Vedas. So whatever is said in Vedas, I only said, right? That's what Bhagavan is saying. Okay, so in Vedas, this has already been given. So that means what? This is not a new knowledge that is being created right now on this war field, but this is an eternal knowledge that there are two paths. Not two paths, but there are twofold paths. Okay. What are these two paths? That is listed in second line. Jnana yogena sankhyana, karma yogena yoginam. So there are two paths. So one path, twofold path. One is karma yogena yoginam. Karma yoga. Through karma yoga, you must become a yogi. Yogi means one who is united with God, right? Yoga means union is yoga. One who is uniting with higher, okay, that is yogi. And so through karma yoga, you become yogi. So now remember, karma yoga is not just like not anyone one can do karma yoga. Karma yoga requires multiple things, right? We said like 4 factors karma yoga. One is you should not expect any result. Okay. Actually, no. First one is you should only do your duties. When performing duties, you should not expect any results. The second one. All duties are offered as offering to the Lord for a higher cause. And whatever comes as a result, that is taken as Bhagwan's prasada. So there's a Ishvararpana buddhi and a prasada buddhi. All of these are there. Now, if you need to perform karma yoga, that means what? You already have some of the sadhana chatushtaya sampannatva. Sadhana chatushtaya sampannatva means viveka, vairagya, and then the sixfold one, shama, dama, uparama, titiksha, shraddha, samadhana, and mumukshutva. So this all of them must be there to certain extent. Okay, may not be in full quantity, but some level of these things are there. Because of that, there is a feeling that, okay, I should love God. Okay, I should offer something for God. No matter what God gives, I'll take it. So when you have all of that, that means what? There is a little bit of Shraddha is there, little bit of Viveka is there, little bit of a Vairagya is there. All of them are seen. Okay, as a prerequisite for Karma Yoga. So that means what? Arjuna is eligible for Karma Yoga. Now, this Bhagavad Gita. So Bhagavad Gita is said as book or a scripture that is valid for everyone, whether it is time of Dwapar Yuga, now Kali Yuga, or any time in the past, present, and future. And Bhagavan Krishna is called as Vishwaguru. That is a term that is being given to Krishna, right? So now that means what? Not just Arjuna, all of us are eligible for Karma Yoga. Okay. Now one thing comes to like one thing comes to our confusion. It causes confusion is if all of us are eligible only for Karma Yoga, why are you studying Sankhya Yoga? Okay. Why do we study Sankhya Yoga? I mean, like, what is the point? The idea is, even though while we are performing Karma Yoga, we will get little bit of understanding of Sankhya Yoga, and this becomes initially it is theoretical, and slowly as our Karma Yoga is increasing, what is the result of Karma Yoga? Chitta Shuddhi is the result of Karma Yoga. I mean, purity of mind is the result of Karma Yoga. So when the Chitta Shuddhi is happening, the strength of Sankhya Yoga will be increasing. So that Jnana Yogena Sankhyanam. So it is not like up to, if there is a path, 10 kilometer or 10 mile path, first 6 miles is Karma Yoga, last 4 miles is Jnana Yoga. No. Okay. Rather, on mile 0, it is 100% Karma Yoga and 0% Jnana. But then that slowly, Jnana Yoga is increasing, Karma Yoga is decreasing, and by the time we reach the destination, it would be 100% Jnana Yoga. Did you see any, like if you are taken a mortgage loan, okay, a 30-year mortgage or something like that, and if you have seen amortization tables? Yes. Okay. So in those amortization tables, what happens for our monthly payment? On month 1, 90% of our payment is going to
Interest.
interest, and 10% is going to principal.
Yeah.
Then, as every month, the principal is going up a little bit, principal portion and interest portion is reducing a little bit, right? So this is also similar. Okay. So this Karma Yoga and Jnana Yoga, okay, so they go a little bit hand in hand, okay, because what is the prerequisite for Karma Jnana Yoga is Chitta Shuddhi.
Mm.
And now as we are performing Karma Yoga, it is not like at the end of 4 years, suddenly we get Chitta Shuddhi. Okay? As we start performing Karma Yoga, we get results right then and there. How? You performed an activity. Okay? Okay? A duty. You performed a duty with Karma Yoga Bhavana. So then what happened? Check, you have performed. Okay? Okay. There was no expectation for result. You have offered it as something for God. Whatever comes, you have taken as prasad from God. When we did all 4, the amount of, is there any disturbance in the mind? How is the level of agitation in the mind? Mental agitation is reduced a little bit, right? Because there is no craving for a particular result. And then there is no tamas also, because you had done a duty. And you had taken whatever has been given, whatever result has come as the result that is offered, given to us by God, right? Ishvara, prasada buddhi, then sattva is increased. So right there, chitta shuddhi is happened. The more karma yoga we perform, the more chitta shuddhi is happening. So the more chitta shuddhi we have, we are becoming more and more eligible for Jnana Yoga. So whatever we are hearing about Jnana Yoga portion, that is well absorbed by us. So
I got a question.
yeah, go ahead, sir.
Actually, I need some guidance. So, I'm a retired person and I wake up in the morning. So we have some classes in the morning, some meditation yoga, and then we have classes on Thursdays and 4 or 5 times a week. The rest of the time just goes by. I wake up in the morning. By the time I turn around, it's time to go to bed. And I'm very busy, quote unquote. And so all this work that I do is either just to throw out the ideas about planning for travel, or perhaps thinking about the loan, or perhaps thinking about the grandkids, how to help them, and whatever, doing the work, help out Russia in the kitchen, although she wants me to stay away from there. And so, yeah, groceries and this and that, and taking the walk and going to fitness center. Days are over. So how do you, you mentioned at one time that the Karma Yoga doesn't necessarily involve seva, and you explain the difference between the Abrahamic religion versus our Vedic religion and how our foundation is. Unfortunately, I shouldn't say, but I'm not sure if I'm well founded in that Vedic kind of a culture being in the US, or maybe the people in India, the same thing that I do. I just went there for 6 weeks and I saw them doing the same thing, just running around. And so, if I can phrase my question correctly, how do you then do the Karma Yoga as you are just running around doing your quote unquote mundane stuff at the end of the day? I mean, it's yeah, you're running your samsara, your vyavharik things, your house is running, like a clockwork and all that. So need some guidance.
Sure. So simple, right? As in, it's not simple, okay? It all depends upon Karma Yoga is doing your duties just like before with a changed mindset, with a different mindset. Okay, that's why it is also called as sometimes Buddhi Yoga also, or and then now what happens is, now let us say you are going to gym, you said, right? Gym or right? So now when you go to gym and when you are lifting that weight, right? Or whatever, the dumbbell or whatever.
Yeah, dumbbell.
Okay, whichever. Okay, so you can have two types of thoughts. Thought number one is, I need to become healthy. And okay, I need to get healthy. I am doing this exercise, so I become healthy. Okay, that is thought. I mean, that is one line of thought. The second line of thought is, this body is given to me by God, and I am responsible for upkeep of this body so that I can work for liberation in this lifetime. When I'll get liberation, I don't know, but like I need to do my duty. This is the second line of thought. Okay. So which thought do you have? Okay. If you have, see, like the output is same. Exercising is same. You going to a gym is same, doing the exercise is same, coming back and relaxing is same, everything is same. But what is the dominant thought? And if it is second line, right? Okay, then what happens is that becomes Karma Yoga. Okay, so that goes whether you are taking care of your grandkids, whether you are taking care of whatever you're doing. Okay, that becomes Karma Yoga, right? Now, if you have that Karma Yoga bhavana, right? I am doing it for God. God alone is there. Okay, that kind of a bhavana is becoming stronger and stronger. That itself is turning into Jnana Yoga also eventually. Okay.
Well explained. Well explained.
So, yeah.
Can I share something
Sure,
about?
sure, Sanjay. Go ahead, please.
Please,
I think Atulji, you're right. I mean, we are kind of. I am retired too. We've been retired for many years now, and we are caught up in our own day-to-day life that we have to take care of so many things, even though we don't have to, but we get engaged one way or the other to perform our obligatory duties. And I think that is our basic, I think, first, as they say, the duty is to ourselves and our family. And then beyond that, then we have to see what I can do outside of that. I'm taking care of me, but beyond that, what can I do? Like I go to shelter and we cook for the, these homeless people. And
where do you go? I'm sorry.
This is for, it's a
Shelter.
homeless shelter. Yes.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, okay.
And I know there are people from other Chinmaya group that goes to Lowell and they go and, do this seva in the form of cooking and providing meals for the, homeless people. And same thing, I go to the seva group at Chinmaya and I try to provide some level of activity there to do a little bit something, a contribution to helping out. So once we go beyond yourself, what can I do outside of me and my family and whatever responsibilities I have? I think as long as, again, the main thing is you have to remove the doership out of that, that the ego has to be eliminated. I am doing this as a service of God, and I'm going to contribute whatever I can, whatever little I can do in my capacity to help out outside of my regular, engagements. I think that also gives you a sense of comfort. And I think it makes you feel a little more relaxed. And you don't feel tired at all, because once you get engaged in that activity, it is very, very fulfilling, and it makes you feel a lot more, I don't know, there is some sense of peace. Let me put it that way.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. So, okay, so let's go to the, are there any other comments or anything on what we, insights?
Shubhaji, do you have any comments on that? I know you have been,
No, I'm listening.
yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
So, okay, so we'll go to the next shloka then.
Venkatji,
Yeah.
is it, I mean, we are doing the karma yoga, that's fine, but are we supposed to move to the jnana yoga? Because how long we'll stay in the karma yoga?
So the thing is that's why, right? So you see, it is karma yoga. If you're doing karma yoga, automatically jnana starts coming. So there is no such thing as we are doing only karma yoga, only karma yoga, only karma yoga, and no jnana yoga, nothing like that. Actually, because you have Pungo Deji, you probably read entire Bhagavad Gita before, right? So because of that, I can tell you that if you go to chapter 12, right, the Bhakti Yoga chapter,
Bhakti yoga, yeah.
right? Bhagavan says there that it is his responsibility to give the jnana for his bhaktas at right time, right?
Yeah.
So, okay, so that means what? Now, don't assume that jnana, karma, and bhakti are different paths or anything like that, right? So basically, like they're all going to the same one, right? And what happens is that Bhagavan says that for those bhaktas, okay, he says that Tesham aham samudharta mrityu samsara sagarat bhavami nachirat partha maya veshita chetasam. This is a seventh shloka in 12th chapter. Okay, so where he says that those people, I mean, like when it says like those people, right? Those people meaning the bhaktas. Okay, bhaktas meaning people, like even like when you're doing karma yoga, if you're doing everything for the sake of Bhagwan with Ishwararpana Buddhi, and if you're taking everything that every situation that you face as prasada, with prasada buddhi, that means what? You're a bhakta. You love God, right? You're doing everything for sake of God. So in that case, for those people, he aham samudharta, meaning I am going to do their uddharana. Okay, uddharana means he will lift up from where mrityu samsara sagarat. Okay, from this mrityu samsara, meaning the ever like the birth and death, right? Samsara, that is which is of nature of death all the time, and I am going to lift them up. That is what Bhagavan is promising. So don't think that, oh, karma yoga is different from jnana yoga, so if I keep doing karma yoga, I am stuck here. Don't think like that, because
No, I'm not saying that. I know that Chitta Suddhi is it's, we get more and more clarity and more refined mind is there.
Mhm.
But, but for Atma Jnanam or Moksha, we need the,
Yes,
Jiva Brahma Aikyam knowledge is there needed, right? So
yes,
that's why I'm saying, I know this will lead to the Jnanam at the appropriate time. That's,
yes.
I don't disagree with that, but all I'm saying is karma jnana alone doesn't give moksha. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, no. So here is the thing, right? See, jnana alone gives moksha. Yes. And Jiva Brahmaikyata, what is Jiva Brahmaikyata Jnana? Tattvamasi. You are that, you are Brahman. You heard that, I heard that, everyone in this group heard that. Now, Jiva Brahmaikyata Jnana is nothing more than that, right? However, what happened is that because there is not enough Chitta Shuddhi, that for us, what
That
happened?
doesn't sink in. Yeah,
Yeah,
I understand. Yeah.
that is not like, making any impact on us. Okay. But the moment our Chitta Shuddhi is 100%, the same, at the time, again, we don't have to hear this shloka, I mean, this statement like, you are that Aham Brahmasmi, Tattvamasi, Mahavakya, we don't have to hear. We already heard, we already know. But that will become, that becomes clear the moment our mind becomes pure, right? Chitta Shuddhi happens.
Yeah.
So, so that means what happened is that we already have Brahma Jnana, okay? But this is Paroksha Brahma Jnana, not Aparoksha Jnana. What is happening for Aparoksha? What is the limitation? What is the obstacle for this Aparoksha Jnana is Chitta Shuddhi. So let
Yeah.
us work on our Chitta Shuddhi, get Chitta Shuddhi, and then you are already there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
So, now let's go to the fourth shloka. Okay. So, na, okay, I'll break down the words, right? Na. So now the second word is a slightly bigger word, karmana manarambhar naishkarmyam. Okay, so it has got three big words in them. Okay, karmanam. Okay, karmanam is one. Anarambhat. Okay, so anarambhat is second one. So arambha, you all know. Okay, arambha means starting. Okay, arambhat. Anarambhat means non-starting. Okay, so anarambhat is the second word. Naishkarmyam is the third word. Okay, karmana manarambhat naishkarmyam. But when we actually break it down for chanting, we take it na karmana manarambhat. Okay, and then we say naishkarmyam will take as second word. Okay, for the second pada. Naishkarmyam purushoshnute. Okay, see again you see that as symbol. Okay, purushoshnute. That is two words are there. Purusha and ashnute. Together becomes Purushoshnute. So, Nakarmana Manarambhat Naishkarmyam Purushoshnute Na Cha Sanyasana Deva. Okay. So, Sanyasana Deva means it is not Sanyasa and Sanyasana and Deva. No. Okay. There's no Deva in there. It is Na Cha Sanyasanat. Sanyasanat and Eva. Together becomes Sanyasana Deva. Siddhim Samadhi Gacchati. Okay, Siddhim and Samadhi Gacchati. So these are the breakdown. Okay, so please repeat.
Now, what is Nishkarmya? Did you explain
Naishkarmyam.
this?
Naishkarmyam. Okay,
What is that? I will get to that.
Okay, because it's a technical word. We'll get there. Okay, so न कर्मणामनारम्भात्
न कर्मणामनारम्भात्
नैष्कर्म्यं पुरुषोऽश्नुते
नैष्कर्म्यं पुरुषोऽश्नुते
न च संन्यसनादेव
न च सन्न्यसनादेव
सिद्धिं समधिगच्छति.
सिद्धिं समधिगच्छति.
So, न च संन्यसना deva, right? So this nacha sanyasana deva. Sorry. Okay. So nakarmana manarambha. So what happens is that now the idea in the Jnana Yoga when we are studying he doesn't do anything. This is the Sita Prajna. What is he doing? He is absorbed in himself. He is not doing anything. That is the picture that has been created for us by Bhagwan. So now Arjuna is saying that, hey, I want to become sannyasi, right? Okay, so you are saying, so when in his question, when Arjuna said, you are praising Bhagwan, you are praising the uh, this Buddhi Yoga, right? I mean, sorry, you're praising this Jnana Yoga, but you're asking me to do Karma Yoga, which is Ghora, means what? Okay. And tell me what exactly I should do. So that means what? Can I please do Sannyasa Yoga? Can I be a sannyasi, please? Right? So that is the implied thought is there. So that implication, if at all any such implication is there, Bhagwan is trying to get rid of that, nip it in the bud. Okay? So he says, sannyasa is path for final liberation. However, mere sannyasa is not going to work. Chitta Shuddhi is required. Okay? Because when you say Jnana Yoga, okay, what is Jnana Yoga? Like, how do you practice Jnana Yoga? Shravana, Manana, Nitidhyasana. So that means you sit, you listen. Listen means it could be listening, reading, watching on YouTube, probably whichever way, right? As long as it's about Brahma Jnana. And then you're thinking about it and you're abiding it. Like you're doing Nididhyasana, right? Now, to come to this stage and not do anything, we should have proper knowledge. Okay? Because this jnani may appear to be not doing anything. Okay? Because for someone, say for example, imagine, right? I mean, like let's say you go to a Vedanta school, okay? And you observe students. What are they doing? They're going to classes, listening, going back, and coming back to classes. Okay? That's all they're doing. And okay, so these kids are not doing anything. These kids are grown-ups, it doesn't matter. Okay, these people are not doing anything. That's the feeling that comes. But it doesn't mean that they are not doing anything. It means that they are trying to abide in their true self. Okay, so it is not like they are not doing. Okay, so doing nothing is only visible aspect, not invisible aspect. Okay, because see, remember, like whether it is Jnana Yoga or even Karma Yoga, as we just talked through an example before, when is going to gym is Karma Yoga versus when it is not Karma Yoga? It is dependent upon the mindset, right? It is the difference between Karma Yoga and not Karma Yoga is just the mindset. Now, similarly, how do you know if a person is actually abiding in truth or engaged in daydreams? We don't know. Okay, that is also mindset. Okay, now none of us know what goes on in others' mind. We may think we know, but we know nobody knows what the other person is thinking at any given time. Okay, so given this, we cannot look at a sannyasi and say this person is a realized master, or this person is abiding in truth, or this person is just a good for nothing fellow. Okay, we cannot discriminate in any manner. Okay, so only a realized master can know another realized master. Okay, if you and I try to figure out, okay, let's take up all these sannyasis names based on our knowledge, right? As in, like, the current heads of different spiritual organizations, and let us see if they are realized or not. Let us analyze. We cannot do that ever. Okay, only a realized master knows, and then realized master. So this, so na karmana, so this is an important thing because everything is about mind here. Okay, so sometimes people see these sannyasis, etc., and think that just because they are sitting idly, I can also sit idly and I can also attain moksha. So in this, I mean, like slightly off topic, but one of the things that I heard firsthand from one of the devotees of Bhagwan, I mean, like Puja Gurudev Swami Chinmayananda, is that this person, he was a very senior devotee, and he used to go to, I mean, like when Gurudev used to come to that area, he used to accompany Gurudev to all local cities and towns, etc. Right? Okay, so the local area for next 1 week or so. Like wherever Gurudev goes, he used to go. Now, whenever Gurudev goes to a home somewhere, right? Obviously, like he's not going alone, about like 20 people are going. And he used to, some people would go into the house with Gurudev and some people stay outside the house. Okay, because like if you think about like, back in the 70s and 80s, all our homes are not too big, like they're not McMansions like in US right now. So only 4 or 5 people would fit in that house. So, and then this person, he told us that one day he saw the Gurudev eating food in every home. Okay, so they went somewhere in the morning, and Gurudev had a great breakfast, big breakfast, and then after a couple of hours he had a snack. After a couple of hours he had lunch. After a couple of hours he had another snack, something like that. And then a thought came to him: Gurudev is eating so much, so many times. I also eat. Is it supposed to be what you call like a realized master who should be eating a very little bit and all of that? That thought crossed his mind. He didn't say it to anyone, but next morning, Gurudev invited him to this person's house. Right? Remember, like I told you, usually this guy would actually stay outside the house, not inside the house. But he said, come, sit with me today for lunch, breakfast. Now, Gurudev ate, and Gurudev made sure that he sat next to him and he also ate. Now, this person did not say anything to Gurudev or anything about like his thought. Okay. And then after 2 hours, they were traveling, and after 2 hours or 1 hour, they had another stop. Again, they invited for food, and Gurudev insisted that he sits with him. Gurudev ate full meal again. And he was asking this devotee to eat full meal too. Like that day, Gurudev had 6 full meals or 7 full meals, and he insisted that this person to sit and eat all of that every time. And obviously, he can't eat that much. Okay. And he was saying that it was kind of like, even though I did not express, just because that thought has come, Gurudev showed that he is not eating, whatever he eats is not for his stomach, but for the sake of devotee's happiness. And I don't know how he ate all of that, and he still digested all of that, but I couldn't eat half of what that slightly like an older person could eat, and I couldn't digest anything, and I had so much difficulty with this, right? So the example, this particular anecdote, why I'm saying this is that, and this is something that I heard from firsthand. Okay, it is not like second-hand information. For you, it is second-hand. But so in this case, what is happening is that just because we see a sannyasi doing something or not doing something, we cannot come to any judgment based on how they appear outside. Okay, that sannyasa is completely different and it is above our pay grade, to put it in our typical corporate sense. Okay, so this I'll quickly I knew that, like, because of this I kind of like I'm close to time, so I'll quickly explain the meaning and then we will review this in our next session, this shloka a little bit more in depth. So na karmanam anarambhat, meaning just by not doing our duties, one will not become eligible for this path, sannyasa path. Okay, naishkarmyam. Okay, this naishkarmya, like, okay, you asked and like I did not give the meaning. Naishkarmya in a very simple word is a state where you don't have to do anything is naishkarmya. Okay, that means what?
You don't have to do anything or you don't do anything.
Where you don't need to do anything.
Oh.
Okay, so that means what? You come to that state where anything and everything has to be done has already been done. Which means
Kritakritya.
that is kritakritya, which means that there is nothing more to done, means what? There are no more vasanas left. That means what? That is naishkarmya state is nothing but the state of jivan mukti. Okay, so na karmana manarambhat, meaning not by starting any new work, meaning like not by performing any duty or by sannyasa nath, okay, meaning sannyasa nath means external sannyasa here, okay, like appearing to renounce, okay. Naishkaryam purusha na ashnute, meaning this state of Brahman or the state of Jivan Mukti cannot be attained. Okay. Siddhim na samadhi gacchati. I mean, nobody can. Samadhi gacchati means attain. Okay. Nobody can attain this siddhi. Siddhi again is attaining the state of Brahman. So, by not doing our duties or appearing to be a sannyasi, okay, you will not reach Brahman. Because in Jnana Yoga, you can appear to be a sannyasi. In Karma Yoga, okay, you may decide not to do anything. Okay, either way, you cannot reach the Brahman. Okay, that is the thing. So that means what? We have to do our duties. We must do our duties, and only when through our performing our duties, we can attain this Brahman. That is what the meaning of this shloka. But we'll review this shloka a little bit more in detail in our next session. Okay. So I'll pause here and see if you have any questions or comments or insights.
No, I think the summary of that was you have to achieve three things. You have to go thoughtlessness, actionlessness, and desirelessness. So when you reach those three levels, then you have already achieved Brahman. You have become one with Brahman. So that means when you are there, you don't have to perform any actions. Jivan Muktas don't have to do any actions because they are beyond that. They have no desires and their mind is totally in equipoise, that they don't have to react to anything, or there is no desire. Basically, there is no thought, there is no desire, there is no action, but they do act as they do good work afterwards. When they have achieved that, they still perform their whatever their karma is, but they are not obligated to do it at that point in time, in other words, right?
Any other thoughts or questions or comments?
In the earlier shloka where we go to say Jnana yogena sankhyanam karma yogena yoginam. So everything is needed and included. Jnana, Sankhya, Karma. All the three are even when you are not doing anything. I remember this one dialogue with Gurudev. Even when you are not doing anything, you are just sitting. That itself is an action by itself.
Mhm.
So this kind of so karma, jnana, and sankhya.
Jnana and Sankhya are one and the same.
Yeah.
Okay.
So karma is action, and jnana is knowledge,
Yeah.
and karma and jnana together they become dual sankhya. So you
No. Sankhya is it's the highest knowledge, and through Jnana Yoga, you attain that highest knowledge. That's all. Through the pursuit of knowledge, you attain knowledge. That's how you should understand that. Okay.
okay.
Jnana and Sankhya, you can from this context, they are not different. They are kind of like think about same.
Okay.
Yeah. So now there are like from a what happens is that like when you go to different schools of Vedanta, whether jnana and karma have to be practiced together, or jnana alone is enough, or karma alone is enough, that kind of on those kind of things, there are a lot of discussions that happen. Okay. Different schools of thoughts are there within Vedanta. But for us, understand that we need to perform karma yoga, and
Yeah.
eventually will come to
Yeah.
jnana yoga. Will attain jnana, meaning we already have the jnana, but that jnana is right now is theoretical jnana, and that will become our understanding.
And even in the karma yoga aspect, when done with the right attitude, the karma,
Mhm.
without seeking the results of the action or anything, when you do that, that itself becomes a jnana in its own way, isn't it?
Yes, yeah. So karma yoga, jnana yoga, bhakti yoga. So these are like different paths, we say, right? Understand that these are not three different paths, but rather think about them as three different lanes on the same highway. Okay. So that's the best example I learned from one of our Swamins long time ago, and it stuck with me, is that they are not three different paths, but they're three different lanes on the same highway. So when you're driving a car, sometimes you are in the left lane, sometimes in the right lane, sometimes in the center lane. Okay. But everything is going to the same thing. So if you think about karma yoga, right? Karma yoga, oh, I have to do action. But that action has got Ishwararpana Buddhi and Prasada Buddhi. Both Ishwararpana Buddhi and Prasada Buddhi are bhakti. Right?
Correct.
Now, to perform this, you need to have some kind of basic understanding that, okay, there should be Viveka should be there, some should be Vairagya should be there, right? And Shraddha is there, Mumukshutvam is there. All of them are there. That is why you're doing Karma Yoga. So that means what, there is a little bit of jnana is there. And as part of that, you're also learning, okay? Because I'm doing everything for the sake of Bhagwan. So that means what? You know that everything is Bhagwan, and you really are not independent from Bhagwan. Some level of that understanding is there. So a little bit of jnana is also there. But primarily, it is karma yoga. Now, when you say bhakti yoga, someone is not just praying to God and not doing anything. They are still performing actions, right? And when they perform actions, when they see people, when they see anyone, they see Bhagwan in them. Okay, so there is a jnana portion is there. There is karma yoga is also there. Okay, but bhakti, when you say bhakti yoga, it is bhakti yoga pradhana, primarily bhakti yoga. Now, you say take any jnani like Swami Chinmananda ji or Shankaracharya ji. Okay, how many bhakti, I mean, half of the stotras we chant today are written by Shankaracharya. So he is bhakta. Okay. And the amount of, like, he walked 4 times up and down of entire India. In maybe bullock cart helped him a little bit, but otherwise he walked. Okay. And he did all of this work. So that means that he did karma yoga also. But Jnana Yoga Pradhana. Jnana Yoga is, so don't think that these three are different. It is just that one is taking a bigger role compared to other two. You cannot do one devoid of other two.
Correct.
Okay, so that's what it is. Okay. Shall we close them? नमः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ओम् श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ओम्
So we are heading to Egypt